Come on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sci-Fi Chronicles for a fun adventure ahead of us tonight, where me and Ian and Istophobos have not seen the season 2 finale of Doctor Who, but we are very fascinated to hear it from Price of Reason and Mr. Brown Alliance on what they thought of the episode tonight. So without rushing too much, first of all, Mr. Brown, Price of Reason, please tell us what your thoughts were on this episode. Start us off.
Go on, Price.
Hey.
Okay.
So I should give my thoughts. What should I do?
You should just tell us what happened.
Tell us. Give us your thoughts. Let us know what you thought of that.
I was watching it, and it's like, while I was watching it, I honestly, from time to time, was like looking at my phone and just looking around, because I'm watching it because I want to know what happened in it. But it was awful from start to finish. I've really suffered this entire season. I don't even know why I watched it.
Same here.
I mean, I know why I watched it, because I guess people don't want to watch it and they like it when I watch it, but don't think it was easy. It was really, really suffering. And I thought to myself, what are they going to do with the Ronnie and with Omega? And at the end, the dumbest things you could think of. It's all so just lackluster and stupid. Basically, Omega shows up. He's like a giant monster, but he's there for like so briefly, because the Doctor immediately takes his stupid Vindicator and shoots at him and destroys it, sends him back to like his dimension or whatever it is. Also, he eats one of the Ronnies, so the older Ronnie stays around, but the younger Ronnie, like, I guess, was swallowed by him.
Oh, wow.
And then this is like early on in the episode, and they also resolved this whole stupid thing with the right-wing podcaster. He was like a big evil guy that was controlling their reality. So at the end, Ruby Sunday puts him in his place, and but she's compassionate. Instead of kind of destroying him, she grabs the baby that makes wishes, which is another stupid thing. She kisses the baby and makes a wish, and she wishes for the guy to be happy. So at the end, in a new reality, it turns out that now, instead of being a right-wing podcaster, he cooks. He has like an apron, and he cooks in the kitchen or something. And now he likes to cook souffles or something. I swear, I know it sounds stupid. There's something he ends up cooking. That's what happened.
Is that what all of us podcasters do in their world? Is it we all become cooks?
we end up cooking like souffles and shit. So that's what happened.
I'm pretty sure you're not watching Doctor Who. Are you sure you were watching another channel or something?
No, I was watching it. He becomes a cook at the end. I'm telling you. And then also,
was Gordon Ramsay there?
and I forgot. There's something even stupider. At the beginning of the episode, the Doctor basically, how does he even manage to resolve all these issues with this fake reality? He ends up at that stupid time hotel. Remember, there was an episode that he's at a time hotel that he keeps living the same year,
that
and
the
it's
Christmas
like
one.
Yeah, it was a Christmas one.
It was that terrible Christmas one, yes, and he keeps reliving the same, I don't know what, again and again. That in and of itself was a terrible episode. It was an absolutely terrible episode, and they brought the stunning girl boss from that episode.
It was the Star. It was a Star of David, wasn't it?
Was it the one that there's a plump blonde lady that eats a star?
Plump.
Yes.
Yes.
Star of David.
I think it all had to do with that one. But in any case, they didn't bring the plump lady back. They brought the girl boss that works at the hotel. And then she comes in, and there's also a part that she explains to the Doctor that now she's become an expert when it comes to doctors and Time Lords. And like you could see in a flashback that she's peeking into all these different doors she has at the Time Hotel. So of course they shove in scenes from like Pertwee and from like they have images of like, Hartnell and like Troughton and all that stuff. They love doing that. They just anytime they can to try to make it seem legitimate.
Reinforce their era.
Yeah, like they want to cement this as like this is a real thing that's happening. They shove them in there, and it's really embarrassing. And then what happens is that she somehow helps him the bottom line is that she tells him now it's like a Groundhog Day situation. Every day is May 23rd, and they keep reliving the same day over and over again, but they wanted to get to May 24th. And now, thanks to her, because she's so stunning and brave and she can go do timey-wimey stuff or whatever it is, I don't know, he arrives. She sends him back to May 23rd in the morning into his home with Belinda and that baby Poppy. And instead of wearing the suit, he has his like quote unquote superhero moment. He feels like strong and he makes like this serious face, and he decides he doesn't want to wear a suit anymore. He wants to wear a dress. So he gets rid of the suit.
It was like
he's wearing that like I don't know if it's called a dress. It's like it's not really a kilt. It's like a blue. It's like a blue striped dress. That's what it looks like to me. I know somebody may say that it's something else. To me, it looks like he's wearing a blue
with a
dress.
waistcoat as well, a matching waistcoat.
Right,
guys. Can I just ask?
Yes.
Are you sure you both watched Doctor Who, or was it RuPaul's Drag Race that you actually watched by mistake?
Technically, both the same thing. Technically,
Brown, did I get anything wrong until now?
No, you're fantastic as usual.
Hold on. So wait. So the Doctor wants to wear a dress.
Yes.
No,
so instead of the skirt, he wants to wear a full dress this time.
I mean, I don't really know how to explain it. It's this blue thing that he puts over his like t-shirt. He has like a white t-shirt, but over it's a blue thing that ends up, if you scroll down, if you take the camera and pan down, to me it looks like a blue dress with stripes. I don't know how else.
He's obviously been working out at the gym, right? So he's got a tight white t-shirt with a blue pinstripe waistcoat that morphs down into a blue pinstripe matching skirt.
Yes, like a skirt, like a long skirt. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm not a woman, and I can't explain it to you. But it's not something that any of us would wear. I suspect
kilt type hybrid thing.
Did he cry?
Yeah,
he did. He did cry. Yes, there was some crying somewhere. I think.
Okay.
I'm about to cry as well.
He seemed to cry. For me, it was like even if he didn't have tears, it seemed like the last half hour was like a long cry.
I couldn't make out what was going on, but I just knew it was shit.
It was.
Yeah.
No,
so my word.
It was. Absolutely.
So was it? I mean, was there any sort of coherent story?
Yes. Okay. So basically, that's how he manages to sort of ruin the reality. Before we see even, and sorry I didn't explain it. Before we saw Omega, and before like he just talks to the Rani, the both of them, that's what happens. That it starts with the time lady, the time hotel lady. Bringing him back home, he puts on his dress, and there's a really feeling like if the message isn't clear to you, it's like that guy, the right-wing Republican podcaster who controlled the reality, he wanted everybody to have a family unit. He wanted there to be like a mother and a father and kids and things like that, which is apparently bad. And like I guess they're trying to imply in a few points in this episode that he didn't like the LG community and things like that. So Doctor now having a dress on, it really feels like, he's defying the
Price. The woman from the hotel, the Christmas episode, had to keep the door open so the people from different timelines could come through. Hence, who was that really good looking assistant who was in one series? What was her name?
Millie Gibson.
Millie, she was in it.
Yes.
Oh.
The trans one from the 3 episodes with Tennant was back.
Manrose.
Manro. Transformer
I'm
Rose.
keeping out of that one.
Yeah, no. She appears at Unit because what happens is that. Yes.
Talking.
Sorry, you go on, Brown.
The disabled lady with the armored wheelchair was back. With a mate.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, was the mate in a wheelchair too?
Yeah, but she didn't have rockets.
Oh, okay.
Well, they like a new version of Chips or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Riding side by side.
So straight away, you've got your DEI bingo card. You only need 2 numbers for the full line.
God, I need a drink. Alcohol, please.
Right, moving on.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, I interrupted you. You
I interrupted you, mate.
You interrupted me.
You know what you're on about. I don't.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you describe the episode as stunning, brave, or stunning and brave.
I don't consider it any of the. I think it's to quote Ian, it's shit.
Like,
but
it was kind of like lots of strobing lights to kind of keep you away from looking at your iPhone. It was just like, yeah,
It's
really.
So hold on. So I don't understand the story. So what is the story?
Okay.
Is it continuing from the last episode? Or
yes.
something?
It's a sequel for the last episode. The last episode, the doctor was in a pickle. They kind of took away Belinda, and trapped him. And they explained to him, or I think he understood that they're trying to bring Omega back. I think he understood that, or we understood it. And the Ronnie were now two. They bi-generated. There was an old Ronnie.
Does Omega, is he the one who makes watches?
No.
He was in the
Mirror Week.
We saw him in the
Three Doctors.
Yes, exactly. The one with the three doctors, the special,
and Arc of Infinity, as well.
With Davison, we saw him as well.
Oh, the Doctor had. I did some notes when I was messaging Ian. Finale of Dr. Watt as two disabled women. Trans Rose is back. Doctor has had a black child with Indian assistants.
Well,
right.
The Doctor's got a child, and oh, hello.
It's not his at the end. This is another strange, bizarre thing. So there was an episode called Space Babies. I don't know if that's what it was called, but they're in space, and there's babies in space, and they have snot. It was a really awful episode, and one of the kids.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It was awful. Yeah.
One of those kids in the episode was called Poppy. Now that same, I guess, actress that played the young Poppy appeared in the past few episodes as his and Belinda's daughter. Her name is Poppy. So now she appears back, and what happened is that the main idea, and this is the last 30 minutes of the episode, the second half, is the doctor seemingly through the time hotel lady manages to fix everything. They manage to neutralize all their threats, and everything seems great. And then suddenly it turns out that what's her name, Millie Gibson, she remembers that Poppy existed, but everybody else, even though they made an effort to make it so that she doesn't disappear, everybody forgets about her. And at the end, what happens is that Ruby manages to convince the doctor that there really was a Poppy, and now she's gone, and he has to do something to save her. So, and this is the part where I understand what Mr. Brown was thinking, that it doesn't even make a lot of logical sense. He's like, okay, I have no choice. I have to do this. Like, it's on me now to fix this. He goes into the TARDIS and then uses his hands, kind of like when Spider-Man flies off a roof. He uses his hands to just shoot out energy and start like forming cracks in the, I don't know, time, dimensions, whatever he's doing.
In the TARDIS?
In the TARDIS, yes. And just as he's doing this or about to do this, Jodie pops up.
Yes.
Jodie Whittaker shows up.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Right. That's like kicking someone unconscious in the street, isn't it? That's just let's finish him off.
She was actually all right. She was actually
she was
hold on.
The most likable she's ever been. Yes.
Yeah, pretty good.
All right, guys. So in summary, what is the story about? So
don't know.
So they kidnap the other assistant, right? And then they blackmail the doctor to do what? They're trying to get Omega to come back. And then the doctor goes into the TARDIS and starts blasting things out of his hands, and then breaks
time. Apparently, Robert Payne, hello Robert, says time is off by 1 degree, whatever that means.
Right, and then Jodie comes out.
Out?
Am I?
No, she's not
right?
gay. No.
Yeah. Not yet.
Am I right, Price? So where is this leading to then?
Okay. Let me create some order here, because I understand how this would sound confusing. Don't think that if you watched it would make a whole lot more sense. But the episode is divided into two parts. The first 30 minutes is the resolution to what's happened in the previous episode and maybe the entire season or last two seasons, which is a very poor resolution. Time Hotel Lady brings everybody in. They start like ruining the fake reality. They manage to destroy the podcaster guy, or make him, now he's a cook. And the climax, quote unquote, with the doctor is that he's with the two Ronnie, and in their eyes they managed to bring Omega back from his dimension. And they also explained to him, it's like a triple down on all that stupid Gallifrey, timeless children and all that crap. They're telling the Doctor, listen, there's no more Time Lords, and if we bring Omega back, he'll be able to help us create more Time Lords, or something stupid like that. He advises them against it, but this Indian lady, who's now one of the Ranis, insists on it. So she opens the portal to bring him back. He looks more like a dinosaur in this one.
I will say the effect of the Omega coming through the porthole, or is it portal, was, you could tell there was some money spent on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looked really, really good. I'll give it
you know
due.
what? I agree with you 100%, Brown. But you know what? I would take the thing that he looks like somebody made him from styrofoam if I had the type of acting and writing.
But it was realistic styrofoam, though.
I would look at this, take the styrofoam weird guy that you bought at the local hardware store, like mask, and you put him there. As long as I had Troughton and Pertwee and Hartnell, I would take that any day of the week. But I agree with
the console, and so just quickly going back to the console at the end, it had the Doctors flashing.
Yes,
what, the previous Doctors,
the Memberberry Doctors. Yes, I remember.
Got to double down on that, haven't they? You know, got to do it.
So for this, the 30 minutes, the resolution basically is that he eats the Indian Rani, then one Rani is left and she presses a button and vanishes. The Doctor takes the Vindicator that they've been planning this whole season. He says there's enough fire, like 1,000 supernovas in this Vindicator. He shoots like Omega in the face, and Omega goes back to his portal, and the portal closes. So that's the end of him. Meanwhile, like I said,
the Doctor shoots Omega in the face.
Yes.
Right.
That's what happens. You can go check.
Oh yeah.
Is this Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Doctor Who? Now is it?
What does he shoot him with?
With the Vindicator.
Man love.
Okay.
So
what does the Vindicator look like?
Yeah, I didn't know what the Vindicator was.
12 inches long, 12 inches.
It's this like
wobbly.
It has a triangle. It looks like kind of a fashionable peen. You know what I mean? In any case, he shoots him with it. The Omega goes away. The portal closes, and that seems to be the end of that. Meanwhile, Millie Gibson gets rid of the right-wing podcaster, and now they're back at UNIT, and things are all going back to normal. This is around the time, I think, or before that or after, I can't remember, but it's everything Brown was saying. The Transformer Rose girl from those David Tennant shows up, and then they tell her, in his world, he wouldn't allow you to exist, but now he's gone, so now you can exist. And it's like, just shut up already. And then they're like, and they were telling Ruby, you were so compassionate with him. And then they look, and now he's like cooking in his kitchen. He likes to cook or something. He's a chef. I don't know what they made him, and he's no longer like a jerk. Because
it would be problematic having a woman cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah. I'm a podcast racist, but I make a lovely onion souffle. Yeah.
So, because she wished for him to be happy, that was her compassion. She could have wished for him to die, but she said, "I wish for you to be happy," and his happiness was making the souffle. So that matter was resolved. Meanwhile, what's her name? Lethbridge Stewart's daughter. Is now again like embracing Captain Mohammed or whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's his name. I'm not trying to be mean. That could be his name.
It sounds like
I wasn't trying to make any kind of statement.
Who was that old woman? You know that the old woman who was like the equivalent of Q from James Bond. Who was
is that the one from season 1 that was possessed? In it last year, she was possessed by Sutek.
She's like a tech expert now. Yeah, don't know who that was.
Right?
Is that the wheelchair woman?
No, there's another one. I was trying to remember. It like she looked very old. Is that an old companion that I don't remember? I was trying to remember quickly who that was, but there was so much nonsense happening. And she says to him, "Doctor, I'm only barely a day old," and I'm like, I don't even know what this lady is talking about.
Was it the TARDIS?
I don't know.
It was like, Susan Twist.
Susan Twist.
Yeah.
No, I'll stick.
Yeah.
By the way,
can I just ask, is Robert Payne right in the chat where he says that the woman in the
Robert should have come on this.
He does, yeah. She did Back to the Future and took off at high speed in a wheelchair with flaming tire.
And the other, yeah.
Do Do you know what? Right? Do you know that tweet I put up about the BBC wanting for the reasons why they wanted a woman doctor next? My friend overheard that. Overheard it, who works at the BBC, and he told me, and it seems to make sense, right? Because they were never ever going to let a white guy be the doctor ever again, right? And their reasoning was because a female doctor had more ratings than a male doctor. And they're obviously talking about Billy. Sorry, they're obviously talking about the Jodie doctor, because when the Jodie doctor had more ratings
I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen.
Then what you call it then? So when my friend told me this, and he said they're going to go for a third season and they're going to have a female as
and you know who's going to be the assistant?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. But the thing
Mickey.
is, the thing is, hold on, their logic is so bad. How you must be really stupid to come up with that conclusion.
That's who the assistant is going to be. Remember, there's the tenant doctor pigeonholed in London somewhere.
Yeah.
The bi-generation doctor who's just with Donna.
A romance across the stars.
This story sounds like shit. It really does. And so, hold on. So, Price, so how does this all go towards Billy Piper becoming the next doctor?
Okay. So this everything that I explained to you now is the resolution in the 30 minutes. And one of the final things are at unit, he's cooking, everybody's happy, and then they manage to save Poppy, because that's the kind of thing that was in the fake world, but they wanted to keep her for some reason. They managed to save her by locking her in a secret room.
A room that was impervious to timelines,
right? And seemingly initially it works. The baby comes out, the little girl comes out, everybody's super excited. But then suddenly, Millie Gibson, Belinda, and the doctor, the Nishuti doctor, whatever you want to call him, the Disney doctor, they go back to the TARDIS, and then there's a crib, and they put Poppy there, and they're all very happy. But suddenly, as they're talking, Poppy disappears, and Ruby is like, "Well, what happened to Poppy? Where's the girl?" And they said, "What girl?" And they're like, "Don't you remember?" And then she looks and the crib is gone. And she realizes that she's the only one that has some weird thing, that she remembers things that are now somebody's trying to remove from the timeline. So she manages to convince the doctor by going back to unit and showing him that there was a secret room and explaining everything that happened. And he believes her that there was this little girl that disappeared.
After much convincing.
Right. After much convincing that there was a little girl, and basically she was the daughter of Belinda.
Or was it Belinda?
And maybe it's even their daughter, the daughter of him and Belinda, although nobody even knows, how that would be possible. But in any case, the doctor feels that this is very serious. And like I said, then it's the second half of the episode. He goes into the TARDIS. He's taking matters in his own hands. He's wearing his blue dress. He goes and he does the kind of, he's about to do the Spider-Man thing. Jodie Whittaker shows up and she says, "You're so beautiful." And he's like, "I'm so beautiful. You have a beautiful face.
I love you.
Beautiful face.
I love you.
I love you." And then he goes, "Why?" And she says,
I could never say that.
I could never say that. I don't talk about my feelings. And he's like, "You should."
Tell
so
Yaz.
Then she says, "I'm going to go tell Yaz that I love her."
What?
And then she goes and leaves.
Can I just interject?
Line, bingo, line.
Never in my life have I wanted a squadron of Daleks to turn up, surround them, and just constantly keep exterminating.
We haven't
them.
got to that yet.
Just skeletal.
What? That is so. So hold on. So they deliberately go in and saying to the fans, "That's what they're doing, right?"
Yes.
And which is what I predicted a week or so ago. They literally want to destroy and leave Doctor Who destroyed without any way of repairing.
There's another season yet, mate. There's plenty of time for that.
Ian,
Absolutely.
I'm trying to answer your question.
What?
That's when you meant the ratings. That's their backward engineering and excuse. That's not an actual. They don't believe for a second that a woman has better ratings than a man. That's just their rationalization. They're leading with ideology and they're reverse engineering excuses and rationales and things to tell. So they don't for a second believe that. So you can't really take what they say at face value. You'll drive yourself insane.
Was this a 17-minute episode? I thought, God, it did seem a bit longer.
It did feel a bit long. So basically, he's in the TARDIS. He's doing the thing now. He has all this energy flying out of him because Jodie left, and then
Jodie looks hot.
I will say that Jodie looked
She
a little
looks
nicer
great.
than usual, and
Yeah.
I hate to say this because I'm not a fan of Jodie or the era or anything, but standing next to Ncuti Gatwa, there was a part of me that kind of liked her more. I said to myself, I can't believe I reached this point.
It's amazing how low it's got.
It's almost like she was there for 5 minutes and there was no pressure, no weight of the world. I'm just going to enjoy myself.
Hold on. So what?
And you could tell.
So hold on. So what? What? Okay. So Jodie turns up, right, and calls Ncuti the idiot that he's beautiful, and he says,
"But you need
beautiful.
to do this on the console, and it'll work."
And then
fucked off.
So she says she's going to go and make love to what's her face.
Yes.
Fucking scissoring.
But the thing is, she didn't do that in the timeline. So I don't understand.
And they had ice cream.
Yeah, they had ice cream. So
that might be. That might be code for scissoring.
Yeah, so they're in the TARDIS, and then Ncuti alters the console by 1 degree or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Taps something in that Jodie said.
Yeah.
And then he does his regeneration stuff,
right,
doesn't he, Price? And then all the yellow lightnings everywhere, which did look good. You could tell there's money spent on this.
Right, it looked
And then
nice.
he wakes up then, doesn't he?
On the grass. He's touching grass. Like
touching grass.
Yeah.
I thought, this is
Finally.
trolling. They are trolling us at this stage.
But okay, right. So hold on. Stop, guys. Right. So, right. They are literally doing this to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trolling. Yeah.
So the question remains, right?
It's scorched earth now.
Why would anyone carry on watching this shit? Now, I'm telling you,
Ask Dan.
when Billy Piper comes back as the Doctor, people will be watching it, and then they say they hate Doctor Who. The people that hate Doctor Who will be watching it.
Do you know I'm going to say
I'm
this?
confused.
Right? Listen, they've got one more chance to save it, and
it's done. It's done.
They've got to somehow they've got to retcon the timeless shite.
Yeah, but they've still got Billy Piper as the Doctor. Come on,
you need a different showrunner completely. You need all these people involved in it to leave and never return, and you need to maybe wait 5 years, give it to somebody that knows what they're doing and actually likes the franchise.
Eccleston turns up.
Yeah, they don't want to save this. This was their plan all along. They are happy. They're loving this thing, but. We were warned. Christopher Eccleston 20 years ago said he wanted to keep being the Doctor, but obviously, not as long as that guy was.
Billy didn't listen.
Yeah, I think the trouble we've got, and coming on to what Price said, I actually think it needs at least 10 years away, because RTD and his cronies, they've literally infected every part of the franchise now. You've got Doctor Who magazine, you've got Big Finish audios, everything. It's all,
Big Finish.
It's all full of all
I
of
much
it.
prefer a happy finish.
Hold on. So wait a sec, right? So Price. So carry on. So basically, he presses a switch on the console, and then what?
Yeah, it looks like he's sort of ruining a dimension. I can't really explain it, as if like you're looking at and pieces of glass are breaking, like he's doing like a crack in the time field, or what? Who even knows? In any case, he suddenly, like he says, he's touching grass and he's on Earth, and he wakes up and he looks, and suddenly it's Belinda, and then
who's Belinda?
He's like, oh,
or is it Belinda?
Who's Belinda?
And then he's like, oh, like what happened? This, and she's come in and say hello. Basically, it's implied that Poppy is back, and then she brings him inside, and Poppy is there, and with his sonic screwdriver, he checks, and she's human, and he's so happy, and he's trying to figure out who the father of the girl is, and she tells him the father is Richie Abikoba, or whatever his name is. We went out many years ago, but we're not together anymore. But he's a decent guy.
Is it a illegitimate child? Are they married?
They're probably not married. It's
a bastard.
They didn't want the family unit again, because again, the right-wing podcaster thought that people should have a family, and that's bad. So they automatically had to make the guy like a missing absentee father or whatever it is. I don't know what. She's like, no, he's a good guy. We're not together we haven't been for many years. But of course I love her, and blah, blah, blah. And then, at this point, she kind of tells him, that's why I needed to get back here all the time. That's why I kept telling you that I need to be back before May 24th at 7:30 a.m. And then they have like a flashback to all the episodes we've seen recently with Belinda. And like
Who's
they added... What'd you say?
Who's Belinda?
The Indian,
assistant,
the one that replaced Millie Gibson.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, there's flashbacks of her in different episodes saying different dialogue than we've seen. In the past, she kept saying, I need to get back to May 24th, but now she's saying, I need to get back because Poppy is at home. So they sort of like either they planned it or they did it, they retroactively overdubbed it or whatever they did, but she's now mentioning Poppy each time. And then he's like, but wait, who was taking care of her? And then Belinda's mom pops up. And she says, hi, I'm Lakshmi. And then she says, this is the doctor. And she's like, finally, you're bringing a doctor home. Finally, there's a gentleman here or something like that. But he's wearing a dress. So I don't know why she thinks it's a good gentleman for her to bring home.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was her mom and she said like this, I brought this guy home and he's wearing a dress, I would have questions, especially if this is an old school Indian woman named Lakshmi. I think she would have questions, but not on this show. She's like, oh, he's so handsome. I love it.
Ian, I'll just give you a top tip. It usually does help to watch the program you're talking about.
No, I'm not going to watch this shit. That's why I'm listening to you two. This
Yeah.
is not
Giving a
Doctor
good
Who.
description.
This is not Doctor Who.
Dr. Watt.
Dr. Watt.
I think
Dr.
I'm
Watt.
giving a pretty good
Diversity
description
Who?
It is, yeah.
So-
It's the DAI bingo card Who, yeah.
I want to.
So-
Come on, carry on, Price. I want to hear.
Okay. So the mother is like, she loves him in the dress. She thinks he's very handsome, and this is all great. And Poppy is there and whatever. And then I guess he steps out and goes back. He understands that Belinda can't go with him anymore. She can't travel with him, and she can't be his companion. So he's kind of doing it solo now. He goes back into the TARDIS, and then he's like, oh, I can't just do this alone. And then he goes and he opens the door of the TARDIS and like leans out, almost falling out of it. And then like he does all this kind of like almost like Jesus, you know what I mean? Like with his arms and whatever. And he's like leaning forward. And then there's all this kind of electricity, regeneration stuff happening. It usually doesn't happen that way. So I think like I don't really understand what we're even looking at. But at the end, what happens is that he regenerates into, Billy Piper. And then she like smiles and she's like, hello. And then the thing ends.
Hold on. So hold on. Did I explain why he turned into Billy Piper?
No, they roll the credits. She
It's
smiles.
a trans allegory.
So now we have two roses again. One of them.
It's literally lower than fan fiction now, isn't it? It really is.
Yes.
I want to ask Price though. How does this show reconcile? It seems like they're portraying normal families as bad and
yes.
So how do they reconcile that with the Lakshmi and her mother and that sort of close family unit?
Well, I've never seen a mister. I've never seen a father. I mean, I'm not saying there is a father, isn't. I don't remember seeing one. I only remember seeing the mother. So maybe they get around it. Not only that, I'm trying to think about it. There is not one straight white male. Definitely, I can't think of one that looked decent in any of these episodes. It's always either diverse people that are good and the white person is bad. I'm trying to think. The only like straight male that's quote unquote positive is only Captain Mohammed, who's a beta that's like a simp to Lethbridge Stewart, who seems to be like 70 years older than him. Just throwing that out there.
So families are okay as long as there are no men involved. What about male children? When do they have to be, eliminated Logan's Run style in order to maintain their
I don't really know.
Someone
season 3.
Listen, something happened to Russell T Davies. He broke his. This is like PTSD level.
It was his personal tragedy, wasn't it, of his partner?
It sounds like a 5-year-old wrote this story.
Yeah, he made his personal tragedy everyone else's tragedy, and that's a tragedy.
I don't understand, right? If you're a Doctor Who fan, you would definitely not watch this. And I am a true Doctor Who fan. That's why I didn't watch any of this shit, because it's not Doctor Who.
Well, obviously, Price and I are not Doctor Who fans, then, Price.
No, but you're not. You guys are not.
Yes, thank you.
But
on that bombshell, everybody take care.
But Ian, you had to watch it because of your show, right?
I didn't. I knew it.
Did.
Listen, I knew it was on. I've had a shit couple of days. I just thought.
You wanted a laugh.
I just thought when you're feeling down in the dumps,
get lower.
when you really hate yourself, Go
laugh
watch
at
Doctor
Shooty.
Who.
But I mean, seriously though, guys, this is not Doctor Who. It's
Dr.
absolute
Watts.
bollocks shit. It
It's
really
Docky
is.
Who. Docky Who.
It really is. I don't understand why people are
Thing
watching
is,
this shit. Well, actually,
you
I
know,
do understand because
I've talked about it. I've talked about it
Self-hatred.
before.
Yeah.
I've talked about it before, and I've said, look, the BBC always learn the wrong lessons. The viewing figures are tanking, and they thought, right, we can't break from our diversity initiative. Therefore, we're going to go with a female doctor again next time because it worked so well last time. And, you know, our diverse season 1 and 2 of RTD's era on his second time around has worked so well as well. And it sounds like they've thrown everything literally at this episode and like joking around like member berries. I mean, someone said in the chat, and I want to ask the question, they said, and I think you mentioned it, Price, as well, the Rani says something like Omega needs to be brought out because they need to, you know, create new Time Lords. Well, why would you need Omega? Surely the Rani's still a time lady.
Yeah, she is.
Is that right? So couldn't you just create Time Lords from the Rani? It's just lazy.
Yeah, no,
This
I think that somebody actually says that in the episode. I think they actually, one of the characters is like, "You're the Rani, can't you be the Time Lords?" And they're like, "No, we're barren. we're infertile. We can't do it," or something.
Oh,
Brown, do you remember? Do you remember something like? We're infertile. We can't be the ones, or something like that. And
Where's the KLF when you need them?
sounds like this is Doctor Who Doomsday. They are literally hiring everybody who's ever played a role, throwing it all in one last ditch attempt.
I got to admit,
save it,
right,
but it's
that
not
Dan,
working.
Dan was right. The beginning of this year, or was it last year? I have the same. I don't have the same concept, but I have a contact at the BBC. They said they were always going to give Doctor Who a season 3, always. And I remember telling people that.
Well, it was
But
contracted for 26
recently
episodes,
it looked like they weren't going to, but it
it's paid
seems that
for.
they're doubling down.
Yeah.
And they really want. So basically, they burnt Doctor Who to a cinder. Now they want to step on the cinder. they want to keep their shoe and just dig it into the floor, and that's going to be the next season, right? Well, I mean, there's going to be a few people that's curious that's going to tune in because it's Billy Piper. But if you're a real Doctor Who fan, you would not tune into this because, again, I would say this is not Doctor Who.
Well,
so
that's Price and I sorted for season 3, then, isn't it?
Yeah,
Price?
well,
We're
you have
not
to do it
Doctor
for
Who
your
fans,
show.
are we? No, I don't have
Price
to.
as
I don't
well.
have to. I just
But
knew
you
it was
will.
on.
But
I just
you
knew it
will.
was on, so I thought, okay, watch it.
The overnights
More
are going to just
curiosity.
be.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're talking overnights. I mean, was it on the Champions League final kicked off at the same time this was on? So that'll probably give it a knockdown anyway. But again, from what you're saying, even if you're not a Doctor Who fan, if you're a general viewer, it just sounds completely confusing. You know, and it's like, well, I think Doctor Who has now become that show that you have on while you're cooking your tea. You know,
No,
people
you don't have it
really
on
pay
at
much
all.
attention
You have
to
it
it.
on.
No, people do. People do. That's the point. But they're doing other things while they have it on in the living room.
No, they're listening
You know.
to Mr. Brown Alliance live streams.
Your ratings are going to be higher than the ratings they're going to get next year. You'll use a toy abacus to cut. It's going to basically be Billy Piper stalkers and BBC employees.
I think, as I said, the logical thing for me would be they would get Tennant back to assist in a kind of mirror type, you know, a mirror of what it was when it was it first season of Tennant?
Second
Billy
season.
was there, second, yeah. So it's like a mirror of that, thinking, oh, aren't we clever? Yeah.
The trouble is, he's got no ideas left, does he? He's just riffing off of past ideas now.
I've got
and
one.
Bringing people back. Sorry, Bryce.
2 doctors, 1 cup.
No,
2 doctors, 1 TARDIS.
Oh yeah, that'll work. If they brought Christopher Eccleston back, I would at least give it.
No, he
15
won't.
minutes.
He won't come back because
I don't think he's going to come back.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's the litmus
Tennant's.
test.
Tennant.
Unless,
If
unless.
Eccleston was willing to come back, that would tell me that there's been enough changes that it might be worth watching.
I think with Billy Piper turning up in the end, and again that was the rumor for 2 weeks, wasn't it? And it's
She's
just
got a face pulled or something. I've seen looking at a picture
Yeah,
now.
she looks a
Yeah.
bit boxy. Yes.
Oh,
but I did see a few minutes ago
She
someone
was in
on
her
X.
40s and had kids,
So
Yeah,
what?
someone on
Hey.
X put up a few.
Obviously, Ian's immortal, but because he
Of course.
moisturizes, but
Of course.
Someone on X a few minutes ago that someone put an image of Billy Piper as the new Doctor,
no, it's Price.
and
I did.
they put, was it you? Yeah, and someone's put, you're flipping kidding, right? so that's the kind of response it's getting. Yeah.
Here you go. Jama Lama. Hello, Jama. 2 doctors, 1 screwdriver. There you go.
A good one.
But the thing is, though, question, right? So, since they're not going to, I'm assuming they're not going to let Russell T do the 3rd season. The question is, who's going to take over?
Never assume anything. Is he still? Has he been sacked?
No, this is the BBC. So
he's doing something for Channel 4, isn't he, or something like that? So
J. Michael Straczynski wanted to be showrunner, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did.
Babylon 5, and
there's no chance. The only way you're going to be part of Doctor Who is if you're gay or trans or whatever. That's the only way they'll hire you. It's ridiculous.
Look, I mean, Doctor Who's not coming back because from what you said, first thing they do is they do the image clip of all the former classic Doctors in the episode just to double down. This is the same show. Then they also then bring in Jodie Whittaker, for a little bit to double down on that. This is them, as you were saying, Ian, sticking a finger up to the Doctor Who fans, and they're basically then saying, we're going to carry on with this, and he's just going to keep doubling down until he's got one viewer. That's what it's all about, the ideology.
They did the thing where they show the previous Doctors twice. First with a time hotel lady early on in the episode, and then later when he's in the TARDIS before he regenerates, he sees pictures of all the previous, or a lot of the previous Doctors. Of course, Joe Martin is thrown in there because they want to keep shoving that in there because you have to accept the cheese before Hartnell or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's the bingo card.
So they do all of that in addition to Jodie coming to talk to him. It was all very, very annoying. And I'll say this is my theory, although I have nothing to back it up. I think that Russell T Davies had the right to end this episode any way he wanted. And I think that with Ncuti, with it being clear that he's not going to continue, and it's not even clear what's happening with the show, they shot a regeneration scene, probably not even knowing at that point who he's going to regenerate into. Yep. I'm throwing out a theory here that maybe some people will agree with, some won't. I almost feel like this is a favor. Russell T Davies, who really helped her career back in the day, he called her and said, listen, I need a favor. You show up for 1 day's work, you get a check, the thing will regenerate into you. We'll see what happens with it later. It's not even clear if we're ever going to see another frame of this. I mean, anything's possible. If somebody gave him a budget, maybe he would do it and would bring her. But I'm just saying that I don't think at this point there's such certainty.
They've paid for 26 episodes. It's been commissioned. So if they cancel it, it's like Rings of Power has been commissioned for 5 seasons. Paul Chato said back in the day, if they cancel, they have to pay people out of contract.
Well, what are you talking about?
Is the spin-off considered?
It's cheaper to keep it running.
Yes, but is the spin-off considered part of this deal? Because if they're still going to move forward with the spin-off with the 10 episodes, they don't need to do anything.
That's already been shot.
So if it was 26 total
of Doctor Who, just of Doctor Who.
Was it Doctor Who or Doctor Who and spin-offs? I'm saying it not as a wise ass. I just don't know.
Well, the BBC is not a for-profit company, so they don't actually have to make money. It would be different if it was over here. But there are always exclusions in unless you see the contract they signed. You can't really predict what they're going to do. They could pay out. And usually as it gets closer to the end, contracts are cheaper to buy out. But I don't see the financial incentive over there like it would be over here to do that.
From what I remember, I think Disney had signed up for the 2 seasons, which also included the spin-off War Between the Land and the Sea. and
Yes.
then it was to be renegotiated, right? So I suspect within the next few weeks we'll get an announcement that Disney have exited, and I suspect that you will end up getting a season 3, but it will be a much reduced budget, produced by Bad Wolf and the BBC. I did know there were rumours a few months back that they were trying to negotiate with Amazon for them to partner, but that was when Jennifer Sulky was in charge of Amazon. So now that she's gone and they're getting rid of all, they're trying to disappear all of her nonsense productions. I can't see that happening.
I think I have the solution here, and maybe this actually explains what's going on. If I looked correctly now, with the specials and the 2 seasons and the other Christmas special, basically, if we take this seriously, that's what the agreement is, Disney owe them 4 episodes. So he could do 4 specials with Rose re-teaming up with David Tennant or whatever you want to do. That could be something that he'll do for 4 episodes, and then I assume that it'll be lights out.
It'll be four episodes of joy, Ian. No.
In some cases, though, somebody like Disney could say, "Hey, you know what? We don't want to put this on our platform. Nobody watches it, and we don't care. Here's a check." They really just wanted Bluey on their streaming service, and they got that. So they can just say, "Listen, here's a check for $50 million. Go do whatever you want with this money. We don't want to hear about this anymore." And part of the proof that may be happening is, if you noticed, Disney Plus doesn't recommend Doctor Who anymore. It does not recommend it. You go into Disney Plus on the front page, they used to recommend it. Now it's the final episodes. Seemingly, they want to, build a crowd if they plan to continue. They do not recommend that show to anybody.
Is it true that Disney were not happy with what was produced?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
They were actually.
That's what I'd heard.
They were livid. Yeah. And when you're too woke and ideological for Disney, you need to reevaluate your life choices.
I think you're right, and I think what had happened as well, we'd gone from an era where any woke production was just being greenlit to now we're getting to a point where a lot more of the money men are getting back involved in the productions with these companies. And I think with Disney, they probably looked at it and they've gone, what was it, the alleged $100 million that they gave for this production? I mean, if you're a money man and you're seeing that, putting aside what Mr. Brown said earlier about the fact that there was some good effects in this one, for the rest of it,
some of it was really, really good.
Yeah. Sorry, go for it.
There was an article in the Hollywood Reporter, the industry's mouthpiece over here, about Doctor Who being too woke, and they were interviewing DEI people saying that it just feels too much like a lecture when I watch it. It's not really Doctor Who. So they don't put out articles like that without explicit permission or orders from Disney. That's how that works.
Somebody's got to come in and fix Doctor Who. This is again, this is not Doctor Who. I don't understand why he's regenerated into Billy Piper. Hopefully they can explain that. But that you can see it's they've literally, again, I would say this, they've literally stuck their finger up to us, right? Everything that's mentioned, that Price is mentioned just now, is literally saying to the fans, fuck off. That's what they're saying.
I mentioned that he was
I fucked off. I fucked off ages ago. So it's interesting to hear from Price and Ian.
Is this true?
How this is?
Yeah, it is true. He was touching grass. Yes.
And this is true as well about the unit tower becomes a gun turret.
Oh yeah, it was a turret that rotated. Yeah.
Price, is that a real picture of Billy Piper that you posted, or did you AI or Photoshop?
No. That's what it looks like in the episode. That's the actual thing.
She doesn't even look like Billy Piper.
It will be on tomorrow.
It's been some time. She probably had some surgery, maybe, some work done, and she doesn't even quite look like her. You could tell that it's her, but it's certainly she's aged.
Oh, that's
maybe there might be some clips on YouTube or something.
That's some industrial strength Botox there, because it completely changed the shape of her eyes.
For God's sake, pack it in.
Oh, it just look. The one positive I'll take from what I'm hearing is the fact Shooty is gone. That's one thing I'll take from it. but the rest of it just sounds like complete scorched earth mentality from RTD.
He was
You
just he was just the wrong person for this role.
No shit.
Oh, I
Yes.
forgot there was one thing that now I remembered. Right before I think he regenerates, or one of the final moments that he's there in the TARDIS, he goes, "I was the best. I was the best, wasn't I?" And I'm like, "No."
Bolstrax here. Hey,
and I answered him and I said, "No, you weren't the best. You weren't the best. You
Jodie was.
Again, guys, it's like this to the fans. Way, that's
Oh,
what
there was a lot of that. Hello, everyone. I can only
Hello.
stop by for a
Hey,
couple
good to see you.
minutes. I
right,
just made a
Chris.
quick appearance on Type 40. I just stopped the episode, or I just finished the episode. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit strained, and no, I haven't actually recorded my voiceover yet because I just finished the episode and the script and the notes. But I was laughing so hard on my previous stream over what I just witnessed. I literally blew my voice out. So my summary is, what is the dumbest thing they could possibly do? Earlier this week, I was going to make a video. I'm like, because, okay, so this is the rumor that's coming out. I'm like, no, this is going to age very poorly by the weekend and just make me look like an idiot, because there's no way they would be that stupid. Like, literally. And then I watched the episode. I went to the end and watched that first. I'm like, okay, oh my God. So yeah, so the dumbest thing they could do, they went there. Oh, yes. And Dr. Nasty stopped by to give us the finger as well. So that was great. So I also made this pledge on the previous stream I was on, because, again, I just say, hi, everybody. It's quick. I got to spend the next 12 hours in hell putting this video together, and this is going to suck.
You don't have
to
to.
go through the episode. Oh, I do. and I got to watch this again. But I also said,
you don't have to.
Oh, I will. But I did make this pledge. I was going to say, I'm going to stop covering Doctor Who because it's done. It's canceled.
You can't stop picking the scab, can you, Bolstrek?
Nope. If they're going to go with Dr. Billy, I'm going to see this show burned into the ground. So I pledge right now, this is not my final episode of Doctor Who reviews with Bolstrek. I'm going to cover Dr. Billy and the whole 15 people watching. It's going to be hilarious. I can't believe what I just watched, but in a way I can, because these people are morons. So this is just me stopping by to say hello.
Thank you.
I got to head back to my video.
No worries.
I feel sorry for the people in the cinemas, to be honest with you. It's probably like that scene from Airplane where they're all strangling each other now.
You
screaming.
You were stupid enough to go see this in the theater.
Absolutely.
Then,
was this in the theater?
It was.
Joking. Your own funeral. If you paid money to watch this shit, then you know what? It's like, but I'm just dumbfounded. Like, how crowded does this even work? And we all know that the doctor wanted to bang Billy or Rose. So is this gonna be like, okay, so you haven't had enough degeneracy with 2 seasons of Dr. Nutty. Now he's literally going to be like, oh fuck, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I probably got you in trouble, but now I just got a mental hit. So you were gonna have a whole season or specials or whatever. So the doctor literally wanting to bang himself. And so I'm going to get back to my video, but I told Ian I would stop by and say
thank you very much, Chris.
Good to see you, my friend.
No How worries. Crowded was the cinema?
Oh, and just before I leave, so everybody, what did you all think of this?
I didn't
watch it.
I enjoyed it as well.
I watched it. Yeah, it was a disaster. Absolute disaster.
Don't know what your problem is. All right, I enjoyed it.
Well, I enjoy. I was trying to think of something funny, but I can't even think of anything bad enough for this. I enjoyed laying out in front of a dump truck. I don't know. Yeah.
Enjoy making your video, mate.
Oh, it's gonna suck because I get to go relive this all over again. So
it's gonna get record views though, isn't it?
Probably not, because I've been shadow banned into oblivion, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So bye everybody.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, cheers, Chris.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Bye.
Cheers.
John, you said something that wasn't quite right though. You said at least Shooty's gone, but no, he's coming to America and becoming our problem. And I need to know what you guys need to take him back. because
Trump's
luck,
putting
everybody.
tariffs on him.
we don't want him here in Hollywood or Austin or
Well,
Atlanta
you've
or
got him.
anywhere else.
Yeah, got him. We got Rosie O'Donnell. You've got him. So there you go.
Yeah, he can twerk
Oh.
up Hollywood Boulevard for a week.
There you go.
But Rosie's on that island prison. She can't reach the mainland, right?
Well, maybe you can put Shooty in a prison, or if you when he turns up. Why don't you do that?
Well, I'll tell you, if they shoot in Atlanta, there's a good chance I can run into him. I have no idea what I'll say.
With a car?
but I mean, it's just from what I hear again, it's just become so stupid now, beyond belief. I mean, the whole thing was in Classic Who and onwards, the regeneration was always random. So he didn't know what he was going to get. So now it's like he's selecting what he wants to be now. I say he, because clearly they've changed the Doctor to whatever they want it to be now. I don't think you can come back from this now. I really don't. I think if they get another season as well after they've done this, I think they'll double down more.
It's going to be a Christmas special, isn't it? Traditionally.
Is it really?
The next time we see Doctor Who traditionally would be the Christmas special. So if Billy's, it may do well, but it's curiosity, morbid curiosity. It may do well. It's Christmas. Don't know.
Can I just see something?
We'll have to look at the TOTs, the timeout times, that tell the streamers at what point people turned it off.
Can I ask Price a favor? Price, can you put when you get a chance, can you put a picture up of Jodie? Because everybody keeps saying that she looks hot in this episode. So put a picture of Jodie for us.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that she was hot. I'm just saying that for some reason, standing next to Shooty, she seemed more likable. Suddenly I'm like, well, she was like a blonde woman,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
suddenly
won't get her in a pair of pants though, will we?
Jodie's not bad looking, man, and Broadchurch, she was very cute.
Right. No, I think her vibe annoys me, but in this one I almost feel like she was very relaxed. Like, she comes in, she says whatever her lines are, but she didn't try to do this weird kind of David Tennant impression.
She was doing Matt Tennant.
She was very relaxed. And probably her just coming in here, the reason why she was relaxed is that she knew that as bad as she was, that was worse. And I think that's part of the calm that we see, that the actress just is so happy because it's like, man, I was considered the worst until you came along, Shooty. And that's why she's like, oh, you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful man. Goodbye. And it's like, yeah, I feel like she said to herself, fuck that guy.
Seriously, though, I mean, why? He's not beautiful at all. He's an irritating, small little twit.
No.
Shut up, Ian. He's a twat. He's a twat. Come on. If any actor turns around to the fans that they're supposed to be working for and tells them to go and touch grass and calls them all gammons and all that, he's a bloody idiot. Sorry. And you know what? If Shooty's hearing this and he wants to meet me, I'll fight him any day. I'll kick the crap out of him. I tell you right now.
Interestingly, idiot. Someone's put up the regeneration and the end credits, right? And in the end credits, it says Shooty Gatwa as the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, and then it says, and introducing Billy Piper.
Yeah.
They're not saying that Billy Piper is the Doctor there, which is breaking from previous tradition.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Even if, let's say, he regenerated into a person, that is also stupid crap. All of this is stupid crap. This is beyond shark jumping. Okay, this is they jumped the shark with Jodie. This is already like this is much worse. I don't know. There isn't a term that explains what they've done here.
I think he's going back
to the Doctor Who. They destroyed it. That's a term.
Right.
I think he's going to loop his 2005 iteration onwards with all of this.
It's going to mirror. It's going to mirror. That's what it's going to be. It's going to mirror.
Yeah,
it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Tennant's coming back. Mirror. Yeah, it's mirror.
She's going to be the bad wolf again, isn't she? That's
she's going to be
what's going to happen.
Good wolf.
Listen, what they need to do, is they need to get rid of all of Jodie's error, all of Shooty's error, and hit somewhere in the middle with Bacaldi and start from there. If what I think the rabbi said, "Oh no, they should start from start it all again." That's crap, because if they start it all again, they're disrespecting what went before. As far as I'm concerned, it started from Hartnell and it ended with Picaldi. So that's what they should do: preserve that timeline, respect what happened in the past, and carry on from that point on. If they bring it back and they got Billy Piper, and it still embraces what's gone for the last two Doctors, then I'm not interested.
And on that bombshell, good night, everybody.
Another comment for you that's interesting that I was thinking about. They planted this idea that Susan from Unearthly Child, the original Susan from the early days, they brought Carol Ann Ford, or whatever her name is, they brought her to do that kind of cameo in the Eurovision episode where she's like, grandfather, and then Shooty like twirls his mustache. So the thing is that it was so awkward and cringe and weird. But yes, so basically they brought her for that scene, and it seemed like they were going to do something with it. But then in this episode, they've done nothing with it. It's like, I mean,
it's disrespectful to Carol Ann Ford, who played Susan, because I said to someone, when there was talk of her coming back, I said, I don't want her anywhere near this iteration of Doctor Who.
Don't forget, sorry, Bonnie Langford was in this episode.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, she was in last year's as well, wasn't she? And I think with Carol Ann Ford, to just do a quick scene, then that's the end of it. No, you've got to at least give them respect for at least a couple of episodes. For someone that was in it from the beginning.
Was in this one. Sorry, I forgot. Mel was in this. I guess because of the Rani, they had to bring her. I don't even know. It all happened really fast, but yes, for a second she was in this. But there was so much nonsense happening simultaneously that it's almost hard to contain, in my mind, all of those 30 minutes of nonsense and sort through them. But yes, Brown is right. She did appear. And she's the one that found out that the guy was a chef now, that he wanted to cook. I'm serious. What happens is it's like Lethbridge Stewart is like, whatever happened to Conrad? And then she's like, don't worry, I've located him. Now he's making a stew or something like that. And then they don't never, they show him in the kitchen and he's nice and he's cooking or something. And that's the end of it.
Sounds like shit to me. Sounds like shit.
I mean, for somebody, tuning in that's watched this season, who isn't a Doctor Who fan, and again, I'm on record as saying I haven't watched season 2. If you're a general viewer, would you have a clue what was going on throughout this season? Because from what I've been told, it just sounds like a complete mess all the way through. Is that true, guys? From who's seen it? Who's watched it?
A disaster. It's an absolute disaster. This whole season has been a disaster. But you know what? Russell T Davies back in the day knew how to actually put something together that, even with all of his crap, he could still put something together that was interesting. And here, he couldn't even do that. He's past his prime. I mean, it's a combination of two things. On Star Trek, initially, Gene Roddenberry was great, but when they did The Next Generation, some time had passed, and his mentality wasn't right for that show. And I think once they managed to sideline him, they really managed to give the show an identity of its own. And it really showed that even though he's a brilliant genius, he was past his prime. I think that Russell T Davies, there's two problems. One, he's bitter and woke and annoying and overly political.
Ian, yes.
And two, he's past his prime and he got no more ideas. And that's a dangerous combination. And the final combination, the third part of it, which is really bad, is he's gotten awards, all these BAFTAs for doing these like Queer as Folk or whatever it is. And he thinks to himself, oh, I can come here to Doctor Who. I'll make it like Queer as Folk. It's like, no, that was one show that nobody had an issue with. You made it. You explained what that show was. If you're queer and you want to watch a queer show, you watch that show. Nobody was complaining about it because it's a show that it explains who it's for and you're making it. But the fact that you did that show and you did well and they gave you awards doesn't mean you can come back here and suddenly twist this into becoming that.
That's what he did. Hold on, let's have a look at some of the comments. There's a comment here, not on there, but on X. One comment says Russell T has lost it. I've never been so sad and disappointed. That's one.
That's his mother.
It's so shit. It's unbelievable.
I-
sounds like they brought Billy Piper as the next Doctor. Yes, that's true. Jesus Christ! Oh my God, they're not
I'd
nice.
love to know what
not
Christopher
nice.
I'd love to know what Christopher Eccleston's thinking. I bet he knows.
He's like, I'm glad I didn't do a season 2.
I bet he's
now."
on. I bet he's on the
Probably
phone to Billy. Billy, why?
What the hell?
No, but you know what, right?
What?
He's probably not even bothered. He probably doesn't even know this happened. He's just getting on with his life, doing. Do you know what I mean? Doing his stuff. I seriously, if it wasn't for you guys, I would not pay Doctor Who any attention
Oh,
whatsoever.
blame us.
No, well, I'm just saying.
Christ.
I'm on your bloody channel every bloody Sunday, aren't I? So it's
love
no
it,
way
you
for avoiding.
slag.
Oh, Price, you cleared something up. It's queer as folk.
That's the one.
Ah, see, I
That's the one.
thought it was a British queer as folk.
No.
Ah, gotcha.
Queer as
now.
Queer
I
as
understand.
folk.
Yeah, but the Americans made their own version, didn't
Queer
they?
as folk.
The
But-
Americans had
Yeah.
their own version.
I think that
I've-
was it
Sorry, Bryce.
supposedly a wordplay? Was it supposed to be queer as F, but they made it
Maybe.
like queer as folk to kind of a wink wink?
Maybe I don't know. I think
Yeah, I
hear
think
that-
you're
No,
right.
There's a saying,
Yeah.
nothing as queer as folk.
Yeah, that's
There's
an
a
old
saying.
saying. Yeah, but
I
I
never
heard
heard
that
folk.
I heard they're making a film version of that guy that says "Are you gay?" Him. So
Why are
look
you
out!
gay?
Look out for that one.
Why
Look out
are
for that
you
one.
gay? Why are you
Why are you
Biopic.
gay?
I
Why are
mean,
you gay?
Biopic.
I mean, I've said before,
Thanks, Rav.
you know, that it's not RTD now that I have the issue with. It's the people above him that allowed him to do this.
Yeah.
They signed off on it.
No,
Yeah,
no,
they
you're
signed
wrong.
off on it.
You're
He
wrong.
has some
You're wrong.
issues here. I can't
You
let
did
him
it.
off
You're
off
wrong.
the hook.
You did
here.
it.
Yeah, you're right.
But there's
BBC
people
just
that
said,
enabled
"It's
it."
Somebody get on with it. So
yeah, they
So
so
someone
the-
would have been looking at
Di-
dailies, though,
no,
surely,
Dis-
and looking
Disney,
at it.
Disney does not know anything about
Tom
Doctor
Daly's.
Who. They like the idea of owning Doctor Who, but they didn't have any idea about Doctor Who. So they just let Russell T do what
get
he
on
did.
with it.
There's
Yeah.
no way they will let him do what he did in season 1 and carry on doing that in season 2. By the time they got to see what was happening, it was too late. They were already in season 2. So Disney was like, what the F is this? Do you know what I mean? We're pulling out. And they did.
Yeah.
So
I mean-
heard that. Sorry, I heard that J. Michael Straczynski actually went to the BBC. Is that true?
He did. He said when the Chibnall era was ending, he said that he wanted to do.
I'm
Doctor
sure
Who.
he went to
No, he
London.
didn't,
I'm
he
sure
didn't. He
he
didn't.
didn't.
He's now living in the UK. He's moved to the UK, isn't he? That's the thing in the last couple of weeks
But he didn't go
that
there.
he's over here. But
Can you imagine what it'd have been like if he'd have
it
been
would have
charged?
been great, and I wanted him to do it. And the trouble is, if they carry on with it, I already know what's going to happen. If RTD doesn't carry on, it's either going to be handed back to Moffat again, or it's going to be Pete McTeague, who's an understudy, and it's the same club all the time. It's
I
the same
swear,
club.
if I ever got offered that job, I swear
You'd
I
sell
would
out, wouldn't you?
I would no, not at all.
Yes, you would.
I would bring back
You'd have two
all the
doctors in
fans,
skirts.
all the fans. I'll bring them all back, and there's
Sell
no
out.
way if I did it, it would
Sell
fail.
out.
Absolutely no way. Yes, I would sell out, Ian.
Sick.
Yeah, yeah. Driving around
Robin
in your
Doctor?
Jag,
Yes, why not?
driving around in your pink Jag.
Absolutely.
You know, within a week of
Absolutely.
taking the job.
Absolutely. Yeah. But
I mean-
I just think this is a horrible thing they've done to a show that's beloved by millions, even billions around the world. They've literally destroyed it. And what for? To push what
I
that
wonder
people
what-
don't
I
like.
wonder what Gary's going to think of this.
Be the usual. I know how Gary thinks. He's gonna hate it. He's gonna laugh at it. But the thing is, though, there's nothing anyone can do about this, right? That's why I keep saying
Message him. See if he's
you
gonna
have
come on.
to let
Message him.
it go. You have to let Doctor Who go, because this, again, I would say it is not Doctor Who. I don't know what it is, but it's not Doctor Who.
Dr.
This is
Watts.
already
Let
like
it-
the
you
acolyte phase. This is like the acolyte phase. You know what I mean? There's
What?
nothing. This isn't this. You just look at it. It's obviously not
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
Mm.
Yeah. All
So-
we need is a Sif in a cave, just
Um,
with a seedy stare, looking out at a couple
okay.
of
Thomas.
people.
Rose was Darth Pelagius. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Billy Piper
Yeah.
is Darth Pelagius.
Look at
Thomas.
Thomas.
It's true.
Thomas,
Yeah.
did you? How much did you pay to go watch it? Where are you? Are you in the US? Is it the UK?
They're about 18
No,
quid,
it's
aren't they? In the
UK.
UK, it's UK
What?
only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a Cine World?
I
18
saw the
quid for
episode
this
in the
shite.
cinema and got credit, and a guy sat in front of me, stood up and went, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
That was Paul's Trek.
Yeah,
So,
that's clearly evidence that they were actually going in there to watch a completely different film. They lied to them when they got in there.
J. Michael
£8.50.
Straczynski posted on
Blimey.
his blog that he has pitches ready to go for ITV, BBC,
Oh, wow.
BritBox, and Acorn. So he didn't just move there; he moved there with a plan. So I don't know if it's Doctor Who, but he's going loaded for bear with a bunch of.
The thing is, though, you
shows
can't
ready
get
to pitch.
anything commissioned in England unless you're with the woke mob. And it's been proven time and time again. Any show that gets commissioned now has got something to do with the DEI. You know that new show that's on ITV? What is it? Code of Silence? And again, it's nothing to do with Chuck Norris. It's a girl that can read lips. She's deaf and she can read lips. And she
Pardon?
helps the police. Yeah, pardon.
Pardon?
So everything that's being made has got something to do with the DEI.
Well, Straczynski he's liberal, he's left leaning, isn't he? So that will go in his favor. I just think, I've said before, it will need someone with literally balls of steel to go in and say, look, this is what I'm doing with Doctor Who. You know, I'm
But they won't let
retconning
him.
this. But that's the point. If
Yeah,
they
they won't.
don't allow him to
It's-
do it,
oh,
then don't take it.
It's
And
gone.
Straczynski's
It has
not
gone.
so he could present something that's diverse on the surface, but not insane, batshit crazy woke.
They'll
So
fire him.
Yeah.
he's clever enough that he might get something through.
No, they'll fire him because they look. The whole of the BBC is entrenched with this nonsense. They are right. And
what
you don't-
about-
And I don't even need to prove it either. Watch every show on the BBC.
Right,
Watch
but what
every
about
show.
ITV and BritBox? and
ITV's
Acorn?
worse.
Okay.
ITV's worse. They're actually just this week. ITV's is shrinking their productions because they're losing money. They're not
They've gone
advertisement's not going through ITV, so they're losing money. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next 10 years' time if IT is non-existent, because more people are watching YouTube, more people are watching Netflix. In fact, Netflix just came out and said the biggest threat to Netflix is YouTube. So that's why Netflix has got games on their thing now. They're buying out the YouTubers, like Corridor Crew's got their own show. You know what I mean? They're buying them out, trying to get them onto Netflix. And Netflix really takes YouTube as a threat seriously. And so it's not about the networks anymore, because the networks can't hardly make any productions anymore. Everything's
So
going to
there's
shit.
no one in the UK that would finance anything that wasn't woke.
I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've read and what I've seen on YouTube.
I think the BBC in particular is extremely difficult to do it non-woke now. I mean, I got a hold of a document of the recent sort of BBC Charter initiative, and it was basically diversity, and it was basically the production teams have to have the diversity in them, in and behind the camera. So already that before you even get started, you're not able to hire the best. You're being told you've got to hire based on their diversity quota. So that's the problem.
Read Thomas's thing.
Yeah. So Thomas says you go in, watch episode 7 first, then wait 5 minutes, have the actress who plays Belinda talk to us, literally recapping what I've just watched again. I feel for you, man. That's terrible. And then we watch the episode and the trailer for, and then he says the unit Torchwood. What the fuck show?
Yeah.
So what was it? The war between the land and the sea. So, you know, I suspect, and I don't know about you guys, and I'm talking about the Disney Plus now. I suspect that's going to be another Echo series style where they will just dump all of those episodes in one weekend just to get rid of it.
Well, we'll see, right? I mean, again, right? This is not Doctor. I keep saying
Doctor what?
This is not Doctor Who. It is Russell T's, I don't know, strange dream that he wanted to put out there. And Ncuti is the worst Doctor in the history of Doctors, and he's even worse than Sylvester McCoy, I must say. I'm not. Everybody knows I'm not a fan of Sylvester McCoy, but he's even worse. He is the worst Doctor in the history of Doctor Who. In fact, I can't even say that because I don't believe this is Doctor Who. So there you go.
Diversity Who. Did the Daleks turn up at all?
No Daleks, no.
So he's the first Doctor ever who's never faced the Daleks then?
Yeah.
Is there any studio in the UK that actually works on a for-profit model? Please.
Don't know.
Yeah, the independents do because they survive on the ads that go on their channels. But no, ads are slowly moving away from network TV and go into YouTube, and it makes sense, and Instagram. And so they're struggling now. They're struggling. I mean, ITV just came out saying they're to get rid of all their daytime stuff and only having one show.
Yeah.
Loose Women. They're getting rid of Loose Women, and that's been on for years.
And not before time.
Yeah.
Well, Netflix has a UK division, and they're only 50% woke, so maybe he can hit something up through them.
Well, that's the thing, you see. I keep saying this, right? With Disney and all the other channels like Paramount, whatever, they shouldn't have had their own streaming channels at all. They should have used Netflix like Blockbuster and put their stuff on Netflix. I'm sure they would have made more money putting their stuff on Netflix rather than taking pretending to be Blockbuster themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
actually
what the BBC used to do, didn't they? With the Doctor Who. That's why Doctor Who got famous, because of Netflix in America.
It's 20 years ago this year that Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for $50 million.
Yep.
And now it's worth what, 400 billion?
It is. And in fact, right, the only studio that's operating in LA, so I've been told, is the Netflix studio. All the other studios are not getting any work at all. Netflix is Hollywood now. Is Hollywood. Believe it. Right.
Well, I'm in Atlanta, and that's where everybody moved from Hollywood.
Yeah.
But nobody's working right now. You can go look at the classifieds, and you can get any kind of camera gear, lighting gear, rigs, steady cams for really cheap. It's almost like they're on strike. There's no production happening in the area at the moment.
Yeah, it is. As I said, it is crazy. Thanks, Price, for actually telling us what happened, because I am happy that I didn't sit through that shit. I really am.
Can I just give you a little? Can I just give you a sneak peek of War Between the Land and Sea? What I saw last year was someone filmed on location, and it was outside the unit building, and they got a big tractor and they filled it with litter, and they were dropping the litter down as if loads of it was floating down. So the war between the land and the sea, you know, it's going to be about climate change and damaging the ocean. So the sea devils and the creatures in the sea were going to be throwing all our litter back at us. You can see that coming.
Who wants to see that?
Yeah,
me.
I want to see a sea devil killing people.
It's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. I mean, I don't like Lethbridge. What's her name? I liked her when she originally turned up, but then she became this stupid idiot, didn't she? And then who else we're teaming up with? The girl in the wheelchair? Do I really want to see I don't want to see her.
The wheelchair goes 88 miles an hour.
Do you know what, right, guys? Seriously.
Time traveling now.
They had spin-offs, right? Instead of giving Paul McGann a spin-off, what did they do? They gave us Class, which was absolute nonsense. And what else did they give us? What other spin-offs did they give us? Seriously.
Dr. Ironside.
It is so obvious what they're supposed to do, but they're not doing it because they're stupid.
You know why, don't you, Ian?
What? Why?
Because you wish it.
Because we wish it.
Because you wish it.
Yeah.
I these are the same people that, when it was all starting off the RTD2 era, and we had the whole Davros Gate issue with the fact that we can't have Davros shown in his life support machine anymore. But then we have in the 60th we have the Star Beast. We have what's her name in the wheelchair can now fire rockets from a wheelchair. It's just it's literally somebody who has gone on an online forum and gone, what do you think of my new fanfic? And it's part of me thinks at times that he's using AI now, to write some of his scripts, but then that's a disservice to AI.
AI would be better.
Price,
are you still there?
Yes, I am. I'm still here.
Price, are you still there? Are you making videos?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
I'm here.
I've got a pitch for a new TV series. Do you remember Ironside?
The guy in the wheelchair, Perry Mason, solving crime?
Yeah.
Okay.
They could reimagine it. Ironside could have rockets on the wheelchair. That'd be good. Moving on.
They could call him Iron Eagle Side.
Seriously.
The thing is, what
there is a thing.
I shudder to think what he's got lined up next, because it's it's literally, you know, I'm looking forward actually to the episode of South Park where they take the mick out of this, because
It doesn't even register on the. It doesn't register on the Richter scale, Doctor Who anymore. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do anything in it, because it doesn't register
It's not
anywhere.
important enough for them to even mention
Yeah,
it. I don't think they're going to say anything.
I mean, I hope they get another season for YouTubers, because YouTubers are getting a lot of views out of this. You know, it's probably monetized quite a lot of channels.
Well, you always have the Marvel and Star Wars stuff too. So
Yeah. Good God. I mean, seriously, guys, this is the darkest day for Doctor Who today, isn't it? You got to admit. And even Bolstreck sounded even more stressed than ever.
No, he's all right. He's loving it. He's found his second wind. He's all right now.
Probably. Yeah. I just think, seriously, they should just stop now. They really should stop. And if next year they come back with Billy Piper,
Christmas, probably. We'll see. Christmas. Is it coming back at Christmas?
it's not going to come. There's no proof. There's nothing.
Is there no special
no information?
No,
there's no information about it.
RTD's going off to do a new woke series for Channel 4. And I think the latest rumors were that there wasn't going to be anything until at least 2027 if it gets recommissioned. But, you know, if it was anyone other than the BBC, this show would be canned, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's the license fee if they carry it on, where they're saying, look, we haven't got any consequences to this, we'll keep doing it. Yeah.
The BBC have destroyed something that worked perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I just think seriously that they need to get rid of this current team, get rid of it completely, get rid of this era, both eras, and just start again, but retain, just keep
the Jodie era isn't looking so bad now, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that from the brief episodes I watched compared to Shooty, it's a step up, and that's how bad things are now.
I mean, they were terrible. They were terrible as well. It's just that this is somehow even more. I don't know how RTD managed, but it's even more offensive to fans.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, what? Seriously, what the fuck?
Ian, deep.
Why?
And relax.
Why?
Deep breath.
Seriously, why?
Ian, you're cancelling your Shooty, honey, I'm here for fun t-shirt tonight, aren't you?
I mean, why would anyone think this would be a success? Why? How you can't be that stupid, surely.
Yes.
The BBC can't be that stupid. Look, I don't think the BBC is stupid. I don't think, what's his name, Davey, is stupid, right? He knows what's going on. The only conclusion I can come to is that they're doing it deliberately, right? Because they're entrenched in this agenda.
They can't get rid
rubbish.
of they can't get rid of the mind virus out of the BBC. Look at all the BBC news coverage.
Yeah.
I won't say but it's just horrendous.
Do you remember they made War of the Worlds? They made a TV show as well. I was so excited. I was like, they're going to try and do it, you know, like just like the novel. And I was ready, you know, I was watching it, and they literally made it woke. Literally. From the first episode. I just stopped watching.
But again, you know, with this era of Who, you know, you would think the money men would also be commenting and saying, well, no, we need to change direction drastically, you know, from where we've been going since Capaldi went, because just from a merchandising point of view,
the BBC is awash with cash. It doesn't need to give a shit about money. The license, it's awash with free cash. That's the problem.
You're right, Brown, because I've had a lot of people say to me, yeah, you're welcome.
Clip that, everybody. Mr. Brown was right, clip it.
I've had a lot of people say to me on regular occasions that the BBC is skint. They can't afford to make Doctor Who because that's what they say. But they always come out cap in hand when talk of the license fee comes up again.
They can cut out billions.
Yeah. And they can cut out a lot of the rubbish shows that they do all across the BBC.
They also threaten old age pensioners by sending them red letters.
Yeah, my dad
if they haven't paid their license fee. Like my mum got a red letter. I told her to ignore it. Do you know what I mean? Just ignore it. You know, don't let them through the door if they knock on the door, because now they can't force you to pay their license fee.
Now it'll be renew it, or we'll send Shooty out to you. You know,
Shooty Millie Gibson.
Seriously,
oh my lord,
Price. I know you've got to go in a moment, but you know, thanks for coming on the
Oh,
show,
don't
and
go, Price.
Oh,
yeah,
for inviting me on.
just-
It's a pleasure.
just let us know where everyone can find you and what you're up to at the moment on your channel.
I'll probably do a review of this if I can get it out in time. I'll do that on my main channel. But if I had to plug something here, it would be actually my live stream channel, which is Price of Reason Live. Because a lot of people don't know that I have a regular channel and a live stream when they're separate.
You have another channel, Price? I did not
Yeah.
know.
You didn't know that?
He did know.
He did know. In any
Moving
case,
on. Sorry, moving on.
the Price of Reason Live, that would be the one to go to.
Yeah, and what I'll do after the show, I'll put a link in the description for you as well.
Here, I can send it to you.
Yeah.
Great, thanks.
This was an impromptu. Is that the right word? Impromptu
That is
stream.
right, yes.
Because we didn't plan this, but I mean, so many people messaged me saying, "Did you see Doctor Who? Did you see Doctor Who?" And I'm like, "Good luck, everybody." But then I decided, okay, well, let's see what people have to say about it. So I convinced John to come on, come and do it on the stream.
Yeah. Misery company, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mr. Brown, you know what happens tonight, don't you?
No.
It's the Mobland
No.
season
Behave.
finale.
Behave.
What?
Behave.
I'm not spoiling anything.
No, don't behave. Just pack it in.
You don't need anything else after that tonight, do you? Surely, you know, top draw stuff,
So
guys.
are you gonna review this again, Price? Then
I'm contemplating making a video, but if I suffer so much making it, maybe I won't make it. I have to think about it. But
right.
it was nice hanging out, and it was all last minute, but it was a pleasure being here. Thanks to you guys, thanks to the chat, and I'll see you all soon.
Okay,
Tomorrow,
take care.
Price. It's tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow, yes, Brown.
Take care,
See
mate.
you later. Ta-da.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace.
Yeah.
Oh, thankful for that.
There's only one person that's seen that episode, and it's Ian. And it's not this Ian, that's for sure. So,
And Ian's he's quite happy so tonight, though. You know, you're doing okay. You're not broken by that episode, are you? You know, that's good. You know, you're keeping going.
Yeah. But I mean, there's.
I just feel disappointed for the genuine fans, such as Dan and all those, the proper fans. Ian bailed out. Ian
bailed out.
Yeah, the ones who are still suffering.
It's the hope that kills you.
They're not suffering because they're hoping that it will get better. Do you know what I mean? And and if anyone says that these episodes, I got to admit, I haven't watched any of the shooty stuff. The only one I ever watched was the Christmas one with the singing, where the monster was going to eat a baby and they were singing, and that was enough for me. That one was enough for me. And the Jodie, I saw the first season of Jodie, and I knew it was crap, and I stopped watching. So I really haven't watched Doctor Who within 5 years now. I haven't watched Doctor Who in 5 years, apart from my John.
They were all so proud of themselves when they introduced Jodie.
Yeah,
they had her on BBC Breakfast Time, and they were all so proud that, aren't we amazing? It's the first woman, which none of us minded.
No,
but
they just peppered it with the message. I mean, I was willing to give her a chance. My heart sunk when she took off her hoodie.
I even like the little, the little teaser of her with the taking the hood off.
I didn't like it.
Better outfit
my
for
heart
her.
sunk. My heart sunk.
The time with children is when they lost me, and I've been a fan for 60 years.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, again,
really made it past.
I mean, I didn't like Jodie. I mean, I'm on record as saying that, for me, the Doctor's always been a male of his species and is asexual. And I wasn't happy with that at all. And I think what really was where I thought for the first time these people are actually trying to antagonize longtime fans of the show was when they did that stupid advert with Jodie Whittaker on the BBC with the glass ceiling, and she's smugly pointing up at it and it shatters above her. With her rating, someone should have done one towards the end where it's literally coming down and cutting her. You know,
They may have referenced that tonight then in the episode.
But you know what, right?
Chicken.
A female doctor could have worked. It could have worked.
Yeah.
Do a Romana spin-off.
Well, even if they didn't do, and they were going to go forward with a female doctor, that the doctor changed it into a woman, it could have worked if they did it properly. If they didn't have the message in there, if they didn't pander to calling, making all white males all stupid and stuff like that, and didn't try and turn a boys' brand into a female brand. If they respected the law and if they respected the show, it could have worked wonderfully. And if they made Jodie look a little, more attractive, and they didn't give her that stupid clown costume, give her something that fit her body or something like that. Again, that's I shouldn't be saying these things because the people say it's wrong, but it's bollocks, right? If women can look at Chris Helmsworth and go gaga, why can't we look why can't we look at Cindy Crawford and go gaga? Why can't we look at,
what I mean? Stop the ugly ones getting offended. How many more times, Ian?
But this is stupid.
You see where their priorities are. It's not storytelling. It's not the lore. It's certainly not the IP. So, as you said, they were smug because we broke the glass ceiling, but nothing about story or characters or vision for the show. They just ideology is their only concern, and you're always going to get crap when that happens.
Yeah, definitely. But I said, I think it could have worked beautifully. If I was in charge, I would have made it. I would never have got into that clown costume. I would have got something that made her look attractive, because nobody argues if a man has to go to the gym and get muscles and stuff like that for their role. But why are they arguing if women don't need to trim themselves to make themselves look good on screen? I don't understand the logic behind that. But that's what I would have done. I made her look attractive, made her hair longer. Do you know what I mean? Had some better stories, proper stories to do with Doctor Who, that kind of stuff, instead of the stupid message or I know the Doctor is a man. Oh, I've been upgraded and all that, having a go at white people and all that nonsense and having a go at the fans. Would never have done that. Disrespect the fans, disrespect the whole show. That's why it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll never work. So
I think, like Price said, about jumping the shark, I think we're way beyond salvaging this now. I did think before we heard about tonight, I thought someone could come in and retcon Jodie and the Shooty era, but now I just think there's so much to unravel from it. It is becoming a zombie franchise now.
When you say jump in the shark, I thought we're going to need a bigger TARDIS.
Yeah, well, you got last year you had a blooming giant dog on it, didn't you, as well?
Yeah.
So,
well, it's always possible to salvage something, but you have to have people in there that want to. And what we're getting is what they want. So nothing is ever going to change until all of those people are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the BBC, talking about the whole of the BBC now, because now the BBC has got it back in their camp without talking to Disney. Now they're just going to triple down, I reckon now. So because
double, quadruple.
If it comes back and it's what's her name, Billie Piper, I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that. Do you know what?
Piper?
Ian, was she hanging off when she said hello or whatever?
We were hanging off.
was she hanging off the TARDIS?
No, she was looking out. She was the door of the TARDIS. The double doors were open, and she was she had her hands on the door frame, looking out and saying something.
So somebody should do an AI where she slips and then she falls into the sun or something. Falls out the TARDIS.
Well, that's somebody's going to do that.
Don't forget with Jodie, when Jodie first regenerated, the TARDIS actually booted her out of the TARDIS into the sky, didn't it? That's how much the TARDIS liked her.
As well,
yeah, I know.
Been dead. It's ridiculous. That's how much Chibnall knew about Doctor Who lore. If she smashed through that top of that train, right through it, she would have been dead, and then she would have changed into somebody else. Shooting. But
this is where now it's more soap than sci-fi. I mean, it's got minimal elements from what I've seen and what I've been told of science fiction.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's all fantasy. There's no scientific. There's not even a pretense of having a scientific basis.
Bollocks.
Lads, listen, I've got to run, but thanks, John, for having me as
Welcome.
a guest. It was
Cheers,
good fun.
Esther.
Well,
Cheers,
we're
everyone.
closing up anyway. So,
Enjoy
yeah.
Mobland tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, are
Why
you closing up?
Good
Are
to
you
see ya.
closing up? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. And I was going to say, Mr.
he's
Brown,
He's gone.
let everyone know about your channel and where everyone can find you. I'll
Okay,
put a link in the chat as well.
Mr. Brown Lions, we do shit like this on a Sunday, don't we? And
Yeah,
with
we
the
do
news of
indeed.
the week stuff. Wednesday, we try and do something that's on TV, or if we don't do that, we just kind of kick back. So Sunday and Wednesdays, usually, folks, 10 p.m. in the evening, GMT.
We have a lot of fun talking rubbish, so
Yeah,
you can join us.
what the best show you're not watching, folks?
Mobland.
Oh,
I'm gonna
I
have to
need to
start
check
watching
that
it.
out actually. Yeah, I
finale
need to
tomorrow.
start
Oh
it.
yes,
Yeah.
get in.
Gonna have to start watching it. Yeah.
Where is it? Is that Paramount? That
Yes.
one?
Oh, yes.
Paramount.
Yeah.
But listen, thanks for everyone turning up. I know it was at short
Yeah.
notice. It was great.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, it was great to see Chris
That's
as well.
why Ian's regular, you see.
Exactly. It was great to see Chris because I know Chris how passionate Chris is about Doctor Who. So look out for his last video, which should be hilarious. And
Yeah, that'd be good fun.
to everybody in the chat, I would
Great
like to
numbers
say,
tonight for your.
I feel so sorry for you guys because I know you all like Doctor Who, and
They've
my
come to
heart
see
is
me.
there. Yeah, they come to see you.
Yeah.
So thanks for turning up. That's all I can say. But anyway,
Yeah,
We're
and
nothing without the chat. Remember
absolutely,
exactly. And thanks for joining us tonight and joining us on this channel. Apart from doing last minute quickly rush live streams about Doctor Who's demise, I'm currently doing a Stargate SG1 watch along on Sunday evenings in the UK and midday in the US. So check them out, and then movie reviews and other sci-fi show reviews. But have a great rest of your weekend,
Well
everyone.
done. What about
Oh.
me? I've got the
Well,
Rebecca Gold channel.
And you've outstayed your welcome. Piss off.
I just tell us about Rebecca Gold, mate.
I've got a Rebecca Gold channel, right? And it's a web series, and I'm making a movie called the Rebecca Gold. Would you believe? It should be coming out in September. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know whether to just put it on YouTube for free or just put it on a thing channel. I'll decide. But you can support the channel by subscribing or give me money on the GoFundMe thing, so I've only got 1 day to shoot and I'm running out of money, but if you can give me some money, I'd appreciate it. You will not regret it. It is a good movie. I've just seen it. So it's a really good movie. So I hope you guys enjoy it, but support me.
Yeah, check it out.
Subscribe. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, mate. Sorry for forgetting.
Yeah, you will be.
Yeah. But until next time, take care, everyone. See ya.
Ta-da.